Now, with rising rents and soaring apartment prices, the Dubai property market is on the up. But many tenants and owners are confused over real estate rules, such as when rents can be raised and when tenants can be evicted. Well, the topic has many people stressed and concerned over rising living expenses and the possibility of losing their homes. But fear not, help is at hand. So here to clear up the confusion is our property law expert from legal firm Tamimi & Co, Mohammed Kawasmi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, we got a lot of feedback on our social pages, lots of Facebook, lots of Twitter requests. I want to start by going through the questions. We had Mona send us a Twitter message saying, Dubai's now raised the rental cap laws. Things have changed a little bit here in December. What exactly does this mean for tenants? Are we all going to be seeing higher rents, and by how much?
Actually, now it's very clear in Dubai how much the landlord can increase and when he can increase and how much he can increase. All these questions can be answered by the rent cap decree, which was issued in December 2013. So the rent cap is very clear. It explains when the landlord can increase, and mainly it depends on the difference between the current rent and the market rate.
Okay.
The market rate is defined by RERA, which they call it the rental index. And if the difference it's like between 0 to 10%, there is no increase. If there is difference between 11 to 20, then 5% increase. Between 21 30, there will be 10% increase, up to 20%.
So the maximum increase on your rent would be 20%. Okay,
Yes.
still can be a lot of money. We've had Ahmed email in and say, when can rent be raised? Previously, I don't think it could be raised for the first 2 years, but that was changed some time ago.
Correct. Some people get confused because they read the tenancy law without the amendment. The amendment was made in 2008 by law number 33 of 2008. So the 2 years restriction is not available anymore. So the landlord can increase the rent on annual basis, subject to the rent cap decree.
Okay, now still on the rental market, Glenn and Lauren have sent us a message on Facebook saying they've just renewed their rent. Now their landlord says he wants to sell their property. Is he entitled to? How much notice does he have to give? When can he kick them out?
This is answered by Article 25(2) of the tenancy law, which gives the landlord the right to evict the tenant if he wants to sell the property, provided the landlord serve the tenant 12 months notice, and this notice must be served through notary public or registered mail.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, are those 12 months regardless if there's a contract in place?
Yes, the 12 months will start from the date of serving the notice to the tenant, regardless when is the expiry date, yes.
Okay, but 12 months is essentially seen as a reasonable amount of time.
Yes.
We've had some other people email in as well saying their landlord has said he wants to do urgent repairs. He feels it's essentially an excuse to kick him out of the house and get some tenants in paying a lot more money. What is his best course of action?
The tenant has the right to challenge this. If he thinks that this is just an excuse by the landlord to evict him, he can file a case at the rent committee and challenge this issue. Sending a letter from the landlord to the tenant saying evict the premises, that doesn't mean the tenant has to listen and leave the premises. He has the right. There is the rental dispute center. The tenant has the right to file a case and challenge this.
And in terms of filing a case, how simple is it? Are we talking about a 2-3 year process? Is it relatively easy? How does it work?
Yeah, it's very simple and very easy. Now there is a new center established just a few months back. Now we have a committee looking over tenancy disputes. We have now judges who are looking over tenancy disputes. We have now appeal. The judgment can be appealed.
So how long is most cases?
It takes
typically?
most cases between 1 month up to 2 months.
Okay, so that's pretty quick. Now, what about for a lot of people who bought off plan previously and then they're seeing the properties not turn out the way they were meant to do? What can they do? How can they chase up the developer?
You mean in case that there is delay from the developer?
A delay, or if the property hasn't been finished to what they were promised, whether now they don't have a beachfront view, whether it's now a brick wall, or whether it's a 1-bedroom instead of a 4-bedroom.
We have the property court in Dubai. The sale and purchase agreement is the one which controls the relation between the developer and the purchaser. If the purchaser thinks that there is a breach of contract by the developer side, then he can file a case at Dubai Property Court and ask for a claim for his right based on the sale and purchase agreement.
Okay, so certainly worth working out. Finally, what are the most common cases that you're seeing nowadays?
Now, because of the market is doing very well, and most of the queries we receive about the rental increase, and there's some disputes in relation to eviction of tenants. Some landlords, they're trying to evict tenants because they think they can get higher rent.
If people do, if the landlord does want to increase the rent, is it 3 months' notice they must give, or what's the correct figure?
As per the law, and if the landlord or the tenant wants to amend any terms of the contract, they have to serve 90 days notice, unless the lease agreement provides otherwise, because the lease can say that 2 months or 1 month's notice.